When Microsoft replaced Sega as the third major console manufacturer, very few could have predicted the rise and stall of Xbox. Say what you will about the Xbox Series X and S, but the brand has seen some excellent titles. Despite starting on a controversial note, the Xbox One era shaped up quite well, with various exclusives and some noteworthy AAA blockbusters. Let's look back on 30 of the best Xbox One games of all time. Red Dead Redemption 2. It's incredible to revisit Red Dead Redemption 2, especially in light of the greedy re-release of the first game. The attention to detail, visuals, presentation, pacing, and characterization are still on another level after all these years. The Van der Linde gang's agonizing fall was a compelling story, told from the perspective of Arthur Morgan, an incredible protagonist. That's without experiencing all of the activities and stories the world offered when you weren't skipping baths for several days or committing dishonorable acts. Forza Horizon 5. Playground Games' latest, Forza Horizon, set the charts on fire when it was released for Game Pass, and with good reason. In addition to reimagining its progression and festival sites, presenting each racing discipline as a journey in its own right, Forza Horizon 5 offered another incredible open world to explore in Mexico. Race near active volcanoes, visit the beach, or survive a massive sandstorm with hundreds of cars to collect and modify. The new accolades incentivized trying new things, while the Hall of Fame provided a much-needed target. CUPHEAD and the Delicious Last Course. CUPHEAD is already an incredible title, offering some of the best side-scrolling action with a gorgeous aesthetic. The Delicious Last Course adds to that with new areas, new memorable bosses with crazy mechanics, new abilities, and a new playable character in Miss Chalice, also playable across the base game. Both are recommended for genre fans and offer incredible challenges and endless charm. Psychonauts 2. Double Fine's Psychonauts 2 is a long time coming, especially given the long development cycle, but it paid off, presenting an incredible platforming adventure with new surreal scenarios to dive into, new abilities and revamped combat to use them in, and even more memorable characters. Whether you played the first game or not, Psychonauts 2 is a trip. Monster Hunter World. As the first entry for many into the world of Monster Hunter World was pretty good and only got better with subsequent updates. Iceborne, its first and only expansion, took things even higher with tougher challenges, courtesy of Master Rank, new powerful gear, and several new endgame activities to grind. Some mechanics, like the Clutch Claw, felt clunky but received improvements, and overall, the sheer range of incredible content made it easy to lose time in. Ori and the Will of the Wisps. While it seemed difficult to improve on the masterpiece that was Ori and the Blind Forest, Moon Studios' Ori and the Will of the Wisps succeeds handedly. Its art style and presentation are even better, while combat has expanded, with the shards mechanic offering more freedom. Side quests, the new spirit trials, and autosaving instead of Souls Links made for a way better experience. Forza Motorsport 7. It's crazy that nearly 6 years have passed since the last Forza Motorsports title. However, even by today's standards, Forza Motorsport 7 is an incredible racing sim. With over 700 cars and 32 locations to race in, dynamic weather changed things significantly, forcing you to adjust strategies, and the visuals were simply astounding for the time. Titanfall 2. You have to sympathize with Titanfall fans, especially with how good Titanfall 2 was. Not only does it revamp and expand on its multiplayer with multiple new titans, weapons, modes, and unlocks, but offers one of the best single-player first-person shooter campaigns ever made. Despite this, a sequel never happened. The series' legacy lives on, but in the meantime, Titanfall 2 remains a classic. Killer Instinct. Killer Instinct has always been rather niche next to the Mortal Kombats and Street Fighters of yore. It's even sadder here because the latest entry in the franchise is one of the best fighting games out, filled with a fun, diverse roster and an incredible system that leaned into the series' absurdly long combos. Coupled with features like the dojo for learning everything, the roguelike Shadow Lords, and more, it's worth playing, especially with the Xbox Series X and S update en route. Rare Replay. Rare Replay celebrates the studio's extraordinary output over the decades, packing 30 games into one package. From Blast Corps and Banjo-Kazooie to Cameo and Perfect Dark, there is so much to experience, along with features like snapshots for unique challenges based on each title. The behind-the-scenes rare revealed footage is also a joy for fans, providing a closer look at the studio's unreleased projects. Even without that, the sheer value on offer is simply insane. Halo: The Master Chief Collection. From becoming a black mark on the series' legacy to one of the best compilations in gaming, Halo: The Master Chief Collection has seen its ups and downs throughout the years. It's already bursting with content with Halo 1 to 4, Halo 2 receiving the anniversary treatment, Halo 3 ODST, and Halo Reach. However, 343 Industries updated it further, adding brand new modes, seasons with new cosmetics that are earnable only through gameplay, and much more. For the Halo fans, it's essential. Halo Infinite. Speaking of black marks, Halo Infinite hasn't had the best journey since launch, with the split-screen co-op dropped and any additional story content seemingly not coming. Nevertheless, it received several new multiplayer maps, the return of Forge with some much-needed enhancements, and rumors of Firefight swell. Still, if you're keen on jumping in and playing the campaign, it's a fun ride with more open levels and stellar gunplay. Sea of Thieves. We're noticing a pattern with some of Microsoft's releases. Nevertheless, Sea of Thieves has grown from its meager beginnings to provide a fun action-adventure experience. Frequent updates have added new story events, crossovers with franchises like Pirates of the Caribbean and Monkey Island, and months-long mysteries. While retaining the PvEVP focus from before, it's still evolved into a more encompassing pirate simulator. Just be sure to bring some friends along. Gears 5. After the entertaining but relatively safe Gears of War 4, the Coalition pulled out all the stops for Gears 5. A new direction for the story, more open environments with side quests and optional objectives, and several new tactics, coupled with the third-person cover-based shooting and epic set pieces we know and love. Multiplayer can be hit or miss, but Horde mode at least provides some fun for up to 5 players. Sunset Overdrive. Sunset Overdrive is one of many Xbox One titles that struggled to find an audience at launch, which is a shame given its bombastic art style and combat. Set in Sunset City, where mutant OD'd run rampant, it sees the player grinding on rails, wall running and blasting enemies with over-the-top weaponry to survive. Fun objectives, an ever-expanding arsenal of weapons, and crazy story beats helped keep things rolling, and it even had co-op, albeit in a separate mode. Gears Tactics. While not the first crack at a strategy spin-off for one of Microsoft's IPs, Gears Tactics takes the turn-based route. Set 12 years before the first game, players control Gabe Diaz, recruiting various soldiers to battle the Locust Army. There are some comparisons to other turn-based games, namely the cover-based shooting, but several tenets of Gears of War remain, like chainsawing enemies to death and blowing up emergence holes. It's a fun experience, not the genre's best, but one of the better Xbox exclusives. Resident Evil 2 Remake. Capcom is no stranger to remaking its classics, see 2002's Resident Evil on the GameCube, but Resident Evil 2 Remake raises the bar. Presenting the same structure and dual protagonists as the original, it offers a tense atmosphere with genuine scares, like the revamped Mr. X. Resident Evil 2 is also just an incredible experience in its own right. Celeste. From the developers of Towerfall, Celeste is something special among 2D platformers. It's challenging but easy to get into, with each subsequent environment in your climb up Celeste Mountain offering fun new mechanics. The pixel art is gorgeous and the soundtrack's memorable, while the story, which sees protagonist Madeline struggling with depression, is wonderfully presented. After all these years, it's still one of a kind and packed with more than additional content thanks to the modding community. Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus. Machine Games knocked it out of the park with Wolfenstein: The New Order, and went much bigger with Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus. More varied set pieces and levels, more cinematics, a much higher budget, and more bombastic events. Yeah, it was a lot, but it was also incredibly fun. Granted, the studio would follow it up with Youngblood, but the less said about that, the better, right? Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. Even with so many incredible From Software titles to choose from, Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice deserves a nod. It maintains the challenging boss fights of its Soulsborne brethren, but leans more into its narrative and characters while focusing on parries. Movement is also expanded, with more vertical levels and a grappling hook to get around. While unique, Sekiro still carries that signature From Software flair. placing it several notches above the competition. Control. Control embodies Remedy's love of the supernatural while venturing into new directions. The third-person shooter had a Metroid-like structure, which made for fun backtracking and uncovering secrets, while the combat mixed powerful psychic abilities with excellent gunplay. Of course, the various mind-bending scenarios, including the amazing ashtray maze, made it even better. Fallout 4. Bethesda's first Fallout after 7 years received various responses at release, depending on what players liked and didn't like. Nevertheless, exploring the Commonwealth, venturing into the radioactive unknown, and scavenging for materials while discovering all sorts of new stories still carried that signature Bethesda charm. The gunplay also saw significant improvements, resulting in faster-paced combat. It's probably not everyone's first choice for favorite Fallout, but Fallout 4 is still entertaining. A Way Out. Hazelight Studios' A Way Out didn't revolutionize co-op gaming, but it did offer one of the few narrative titles in the genre. That too, without single-player or matchmaking. Players control Vincent or Leo as they attempt to escape prison, which is easier said than done. Coordination in execution is key, but you can also take a break and indulge in the minigames like Kinect 4. Of course, the plot doesn't end with the escape, and plenty of twists and turns will keep you guessing how it all ends. It Takes Two. Perhaps the biggest gain from A Way Out is how it paved the way for It Takes Two. Cody and May are on the verge of divorcing, causing their daughter Rose to despair. One thing leads to another, and suddenly they're dolls who must run, jump, sneak, and battle through several insane scenarios. The rapid pace of the adventure, coupled with all kinds of fun objectives and exceptional visuals, helped elevate the co-op gaming to new heights. The Witcher 3: Wild Hunt. Looking back on The Witcher 3: Wild Hunt, it's profound to see its impact, whether on the success of CD Projekt Red or the property as a whole. Geralt's journey to find Ciri and protect her from the Wild Hunt while hunting monsters. With massive locations, memorable quests, exceptional writing, and solid presentation, The Witcher 3 is a role-playing classic. Grand Theft Auto V. Rockstar Games is known for shattering expectations with each subsequent title, and Grand Theft Auto V is no exception. Seeing a world with the scale of Los Santos running with such fidelity on Xbox 360 was already unbelievable, and it looked even better on Xbox One. After all these years, re-releases, new features, and an ever-expanding GTA Online, what more is there to say? If you haven't experienced the incredible narrative or gotten lost with the helpings out with various strangers and freaks, Grand Theft Auto V is worth diving into. Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. Story criticisms and open-world repetition aside, the stealth in Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain and how it leads to unique emergent gameplay is still difficult to top. Seeing the world react accordingly with soldiers using specific countermeasures against your tactics and being able to Fulton anything and everything is also a blast. Of course, the fact that the music and visuals are still some of the best in gaming is nothing to scoff at. Watch Dogs 2. The excitement for the first Watch Dogs was palpable, but it left much to be desired. With the latest title, Watch Dogs Legion, coming and going without much fuss, Watch Dogs 2 looks that much more appealing by today's standards. It offered a great new setting based on San Francisco's Bay Area and a new protagonist in Marcus Holloway. With improved combat and movement over the first game, hacking was also wonderfully expanded, with more opportunities to flex one's skills. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. There wasn't much excitement for Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, especially after Marvel's Avengers. However, Eidos Montreal delivered a compelling single-player action-adventure with a strong original story and solid depiction of each hero. Whether it was Rocket's desire for wanton destruction or Drax's flippancy, with excellent combat that utilized each hero's skills in unique ways, fun boss battles, and gorgeous visuals, it's a shame that it didn't perform as well as we would have liked. Elden Ring. From Software's epic Souls-like is universally acclaimed, selling millions of copies. Even though we expected great combat, it's incredible how the developer implemented its open world, with numerous dungeons and secrets to uncover. With so much to see, tons of build variety, and some of the toughest bosses in gaming, Elden Ring is still worth revisiting nearly 2 years after launch. Hey, did you know that we at GamingBolt upload new videos every day? Stick around, drop a like, subscribe, and hit that bell, and let us know what kind of content you'd like to see in the future with a comment below.